Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Disetso, and you're tuned into a safe space where we have hard conversations on life, love, and all things healing. Now, if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome, welcome. I know you're going to love this place. So why don't you just click the subscribe button and help us grow? So before I start, it's so important, guys, for me and for you guys to encourage me, right, so that I can post more, to like or engage with my content, especially here on the Red app, so that it reaches more people. And obviously, because the channel is monetized, it will help me also get the right equipment for this, right? Anyway, so I am back with sit down. Today's a Q&A. I went to my Instagram and I asked people to ask me questions that they want me to answer on the Red app, which is YouTube. And I have a few questions, not a lot of questions, but I think they are quite deep, so I will try answer them in as much depth as I can. And yeah, so I we paused our purpose in pain I paused my purpose in pain podcast shoots, not because I wanted to, but it's because we ran into a few issues that I am fixing. But I also, after a while, thinking about the abrupt pause, I think it was also God's way of telling me to slow down. I think after the conversation I had with Sis Tandi and Sis Nogulunga, I realized that I had so much that I still needed to deal with. That conversation helped me, inspired me, but it also broke me. It put me in a very, I don't know, I think I wasn't okay after that shoot. I just wanted to go home and cry, right? Because a lot of it took me back to a big part of what my ministry is, and a big part that God has always been calling me into personally, and that's the gift of forgiveness. And I watched that video. If you haven't watched it, I'm going to pin it up here so you guys, I don't know if it's here or here, but wherever on top, so you can catch up on that one. But I realized how much I think I have forgiven people, but I have not. I learn how to live with people who have hurt me, but as soon as something else happens, I remember what they did before, and that fuels my anger again. And that's not how forgiveness works. Sometimes you think you're forgiving someone because you are able to still relate to them, to laugh with them, but you haven't really dealt with the matter or the reason why you even got to a place where they angered you. And I think I had to go back there, especially concerning my marriage, right? My failed marriage, that is. So yeah, so after that, I think a lot of things went downhill. I might as well make this a catch up before I do the actual Q&A. So yeah, guys, it's been a lot. That's why also I haven't been able to get myself to actually sitting down and doing these kind of sit downs. There's a lot that I had planned for the year. There's a lot that I wanted to speak about, to allow you guys into, but I was just overcome with so much pain, so much loss. I think in the past few months, I've just been losing people. And I know there's a question that speaks about loss. I don't know if I am ready to talk about it now, but there's a loss that I experienced in this year that really broke my heart. And I think even when I talk about it now, it still kind of hurts. And I think I haven't really processed it yet, or properly. I just, when something happens and you're just like, hey, it is what it is, let's just all move on. But it does cut deep. And I think having to transition from not having that thing that you enjoyed so much, that made up the person that you are, that helped you in your time of need. Yeah, having to lose that was very painful, was very hard for me. It had me questioning a whole lot of other things. Like every time I go through something like that, I always blame myself, and that's like the hardest way to decide to heal. I was not ready, like any other loss, I guess. I was not ready to lose a person so quickly, or people so quickly, after losing my marriage. So it was a lot. It was a lot. It is a lot, but I think I'm better. I think I'm no, let me not lie. I haven't processed it. Let me not lie. So it was just, and also it was just one thing after the other, and that also just triggered my fear of abandonment. It triggered my fear of not belonging again. So it has been a lot, and I think part of the reasons why I didn't post is because I was like, what if I'm even messing up even this YouTube thing? Or this ministry thing? Everything was just not going well. My new the new face to the Purpose in Pain journal was also delaying. There was just a lot of things that came up all of a sudden. There's money, there's shipping, and I'm just like, why is everything that I'm touching just falling apart? And yeah, it hasn't been such an easy journey. This year can end. I'm fine. Like, guys, this year can end. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I think I'm trying to push myself to do things in spite of what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, and to teach myself that I can have moments where I'm down, but I need to get back up, because I know myself. I know how if I'm down, I'll be down bad, although people don't see that. So yeah, but in all that, I think I'm so grateful to God. I think last this month, which is August, I have been invited to speak at multiple events in a church and stuff like that. And I think I looked at it and I said, Lord, I don't even think I deserve to be on any of these platforms, or any of these stages. But if you feel that I can deliver your heart to your people at this stage where I'm falling apart, then I'll do it, and I'll say it's God, because you know how we're used to people who say to us, hey, if you're not feeling well, don't step on the podium. And I tried to do that. Honestly, I tried to do that. I tried to take a break in July, and I was like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm gonna sulk and be with the Lord, find myself and be okay before I can minister to people. Within a week, God sends a dear brother, mentor of mine, to tell me, ma'am, God says your break is over. So yeah, that's why I'm back. Anyway, so I'm grateful to God for entrusting me with hearts. Yeah, even when I'm away, I would get like messages, like comments from people saying, hey, we miss you, how are you, your videos inspire us. Those little things, they might seem like it's nothing, but to me, they like encourage me and they affirm me so much. And yes, I shouldn't seek external validation, but I'm telling you, they go a long way, right? And my friends, I'm even getting goosebumps, guys. My friends, like, I shout out to my friends. Like, I really have good friends. I have friends, I know that when I am down and out, I can call and they'll be there for me. I have friends who can call me out, but I also have friends in the very same people who can hug it out. I am so grateful. Like, even I know that I'm not alone. Like, I would be lying if I told you guys that I'm alone in this journey. I'd be literally spitting in God's face. And I'm so grateful to my friends. I love you guys so much. I'm so emotional. I don't know if it's because I'm ovulating, but I'm so grateful to my friends. They love me right. they love me well. And even when I can be a mess, I can be distant when I'm not okay, but they're so patient with me. And yeah, thank you that I can dance in the rain, in the mud with these people. God outdid himself there. Anyway, I need to start the Q&A. What else do I need to update you guys on? I'm still gonna sit down, so I think there's a lot of things that I will talk about, but it's just like a catch up. I posted a vlog, right? Yeah, so you guys check that one out. And yeah, let's get into the questions. So the first question, I'm gonna look down a little because that's where the questions are, but you will excuse me. The first one was like, oh, somebody was just saying that they love my content, and I was like, oh, cute. Okay, then the actual question that I got, which is wanted to know how to overcome loss. Ma'am, I don't know. Like, for me, I think loss comes in waves. You feel it, and then it goes away, then it comes back, and sometimes the wave is so big, and sometimes it's just little, waves that remind you and they come at your feet, and then whatever. But for me, it's like there's no actual way to overcome it. It's how you deal with the person or the thing not being there, and to be content even when the waves strike and they are bigger than what they were before. And yeah, I think I don't have an actual answer. Like, I can listen to all these podcasts that are talking about loss and whatnot, but I think ultimately you learn to live without the people you are losing. And the waves eventually no longer are strong enough to swallow you. I don't know if that's the right analogy for waves, but I think you get what I mean. I've lost, how many years has it been? It's 9 years since I lost my dad, and there are days where I just feel like I need him here, but the pain is not as huge, or as it was before, but it is still there. Give yourself grace is what I can tell you. Give yourself enough time to process it, and do process it. One of the things that I've realized with loss is that especially if it's death, or that you're grieving, right? You're grieving a person that you've lost in that sense, and you're dealing with that kind of loss. I realized that when other people around you start moving on, it kind of puts some kind of pressure in you to want to move on. So yeah, that's me. Sorry. So that's me on loss. The next question is, how are you and the kids doing? Then the next question is, how are you and the kids doing? I think I just gave you a brief answer in the beginning. Sometimes I feel hot, sometimes I feel cold. It's like flu, but yes, I'm kidding. But I think I say this a lot now in this season, that I think this year I cried more this year than I did last year when I was going through the actual divorce. This year is like I'm dealing with residue. I'm not necessarily crying because of the divorce itself, but I'm seeing how there's residue that's spilling into areas in my life that are causing me to cry more than I did last year. This year has not been good. No, this year has not been good, guys. Every time I think about it, I'm just like, can the year end? Am I happy? Yeah. Am I happier? Let me say that. Yes, I am. But I realized there are certain things that I used to do that became part of my coping mechanisms. And I've used those tools to either protect myself or to put boundaries around me so that I don't get hurt. But I've used those things so much in the past that they are creeping in now, even when I'm not supposed to use it. And I think I'll give you like, yeah, I think maybe I should do a sit down and talk more about what I'm talking about. It's more in like how I'm relating to people, how I'm relating to myself. I realized that I have been self-sabotaging, self-abandoning me. I've been self-sabotaging and self-abandoning. I have not been making room for me while I'm making room for other people. For instance, when I was married, I don't think I was there for people the way I wanted to, right? And I don't even think I was there for myself either. And I have learned in my marriage that self-abandoning means being selfless. But, and it's true, you will be selfless, less of yourself every time you self-abandon. And I see it even now. I think there's a particular situation where I see that I'm overcompensating. I and you know when you feel that nah, you've overstayed your welcome, and Shem, you can, you know when you're visiting someone and you can see that, hi man, they are being fidgety, they want you to leave, mara kwena mo, you just want to have conversation. I caught myself in a similar situation. Obviously I was not visiting anyone, it's just an analogy that I'm using, and I see that I'm overcompensating. I am people pleasing in a very subtle way. And I think that's how I am when I care about people and when I like an environment. I always want to be there. I always want to show myself and hoping that they will receive the love or the kindness that way. But it's not always that way. And I will also just neglect what I'm feeling in that season, in that time, I mean, while I'm overgiving, you know, because you will feel it, and I will ignore what I'm feeling and ignore my needs just so that there's no abandonment from them. Until I'm abandoning myself. Do you guys get what I mean though? Like, I think I'm mumbling, but I hope you get what I mean. I hope you get what I mean. But I think I even did a post on Instagram about self-abandonment, that it's a fear of rejection. And I think this year I realized that I have a huge, no, actually, it's not a fear of rejection that I have. And I had this conversation with my therapist friend. Yes, that it's not that I'm afraid to be rejected. I'm okay if people walk out of my life, right? It's me overthinking the reason why they're leaving, because that translates to me not being enough. It translates to the fact that I'm not worthy of this person's company. I'm not worthy of. So that's what I'm afraid of. And that comes from the residue I spoke about, that I never felt worthy enough. And I told myself that I don't want to find myself in a place where I'm questioning my worth, questioning whether I deserve to be in certain spaces with certain people, you know. And that's how I am, trying to navigate myself back to a place of valuing who I am and being able to bring that value into people's lives. Because if I don't value myself and I don't think I'm worth anything, that's exactly how I'm going to project myself in other people's spaces or lives. So yeah, it's confusing. The way I'm mumbling, that's how I am. But in general, I'm grateful to God. I'm okay. I am still, my head is still above the water, which is great. How are the kids? The kids are growing. I think they are also just one of the reasons why my 2024 is going this way. I'm trusting God for a miracle, a breakthrough, because to be honest, between you and I, it's not easy. It's not easy financially. It's not easy emotionally. Having to make sure you are okay, and you also, on the other hand, not trying to expose that not okayness to your kids, because you know how or you think you know how they will interpret that. The other day my daughter asked, was on a phone call with her dad, and she was asked what her Christmas wish list looks like, and she said that she would like her mom and her dad and her little brother to stay in one place so that they can be a family again. I'm saying they, but she was talking about us. And later in the evening, I sat down with her. Then I realized that I can't keep going around what is going on and pretending nothing is happening, because in her head she's still asking herself these questions. And I asked her how she's doing and how she's feeling about it. And I didn't want to put words in her mouth. I just wanted her to express herself, and she told me how she was feeling. And I didn't want to tell her, hey, but you know why mommy had to leave, you saw why mommy had to leave. No, I didn't want to put anything in her head. I just told her that, you know what, we love you, and we're gonna be okay. And that's all I could say. But also that was an indicator for me that she's ready to go to therapy, because she can express herself fully, and she knows how to use her words. I am also picking up how she's very cautious, because even when she's speaking to her dad, she looked at me first, trying to see if I'll have a reaction. So I chose to look away so that she can talk. But she was like trying to seek approval from me to see how I will react. And that was also kind of like an indicator for me that perhaps sometimes there were times that I reacted in a certain way that she picked up it wasn't okay with me, and I have to work on that. You understand, like you are battling with these great feelings, and also not trying to show them too much so that you don't expose them to your kids, because then explaining it to them in its graphic sense might just hinder their healing as well, or misdirect their healing. What was the question? How are we? We're kept by grace. And I think a constant word that I've been receiving from God is that he has my children, like they belong to him. And that's the comfort I need, that my children belong to him. Yeah. The next question is, are there any repeat lessons that you have finally learned? I've experienced so many repeat mistakes, lessons in this year that I'm just like, I think the biggest thing for me is this self-abandoning thing. And it's so heavy every day in my heart, because I just realized that I think I said on my YouTube sometime that when I'm not okay, my appetite vanishes, right, and disappears. I don't want to eat, and that's punishing myself in a way, right? I abandon me just to feel these weird emotions, to overthink, to allow anxiety to take over my body. And I think a lesson from that is that I can't keep doing that to myself. And I think I coined that the season where I'm learning not to do that. You owe yourself this much. No, I'm not saying it the right way. You owe it to yourself. So each time I feel these emotions and my body cripples, and I feel the tingling feelings from my toes to my head, and I'm literally being crippled by the thought of being rejected or abandoned, or whatever it could be that would be happening in that time. I let it happen, and I allow myself to feel it. But then again, I come back and I say, because my tummy will tell me, you're hungry. And I'll be like, no, but I'm feeling like this. I don't want to eat. And I tell myself, you owe yourself You owe it to yourself to choose better. You owe it to yourself to choose better. You owe it to yourself to eat when your body wants to eat. You owe it to yourself to begin to drink water even when you don't want to drink water, because I hate water. So I always have to tell myself, you owe it to yourself. Even letting go of certain situations, I owe it to myself, because I can't keep allowing anxiety and whatever to cripple me in any way. Yeah, so the biggest lesson I am learning, I have not learned yet because I still falter, is that I can't abandon myself. And it's okay to choose me and to make room for me while choosing other people as well. If something does not serve me, it's okay to say no. I don't want to be part of this anymore, you know, which is a gift I've never given to myself, and I want to be able to master that gift. Whew, yeah. Last question, I should have answered this after the previous one, but the last question is how badly has divorce affected my kids? I think it's hard to really say. I think adjusting to us not living together with the father is quite difficult for them. And I think my son thinks he's on a very long vacation. I don't think he knows what's really going on. But my daughter, on the other hand, she does. She says stuff like, how will we be a family without a father? You know, she still says stuff like, oh, mommy, are you gonna get married? And I say no. It's like, oh, you must ask daddy to marry you. You know, she still says stuff like that. And I think once they start going to therapy and I start going to therapy with them, I'll be able to have language, and I'll be able to handle some conversations or questions that come from her better, that I don't allow them to trigger me. Because at this point, everything she says triggers me and makes me feel like I'm a bad person. Wada. But yeah, it is what it is. Thank you so much for the questions. I think I'll do it once a month where you guys ask me questions and I answer them. It also helps me to know what you guys want to hear from the channel. And yeah, once we are back up with Purpose and Pain Conversations, I will let you know. But do catch up on what's already uploaded and let me know what you think. I'm also open to suggestions and all of that, you know. And my book is finally, the new look, leather, it's cute, the courses and everything are finally going to take off. I think I should be receiving the books at the end of the month, if not the first week of September, and I'm just looking forward to us healing together and yeah, to do things against all odds, to push ourselves even harder. And yeah, one thing I also did is I resurrected my business, and I've partnered with a friend of mine. We have a nanny business where we help you get a nanny or a housekeeper. And I had anxiety about going back to business, and I think maybe I should have a separate video for that. So it was very difficult. If you guys have been following me for a while, you'll know that I used to sell baby stuff that stopped. There's a lot of anxiety that came out of that. And so this year, when I realized that, man, being a single mom and one salary really isn't going to be enough, so I have to pull up my socks and stop getting into my feelings and actually begin the hard work of being a caregiver. And yeah, we also have the Back to the Garden event. I'm so excited, guys. Oh my gosh, what God is gonna do. We had a worship night last year, né? It was amazing. And this year, when God said the theme of the month is communion, I knew that our lives were not going to be the same. So if you don't know, we are hosting Back to the Garden feast. It's a long table event. Think linens, think bread, obviously, because on the Last Supper, you know, think unleavened bread, think Holy Communion elements, obviously, think food, think drinks, think conversations, think healing, think sisterhood, brotherhood, think revival, think restoration, think reconciliation. Whatever comes to mind when you hear the word communion, you will surely get on that table. We have Pastor Martin Mkiva, the founder and lead pastor of Eternal Glory Church, and we also have Pastor Ayanda, who will also be talking. So Pastor Martin will be speaking on restoration and communion, and Pastor Ayanda will be speaking on healing in communion, and then I will be speaking on being pursued in communion. So it's gonna be a beautiful time. It's only at 850, guys, for 3-course meal, and a worship session afterwards. See, the worship night that we'll have in the evening, but during the day we're going to have this long table. We're going to feast together. We're going to fellowship and swallowship together. There'll be music. It's gonna be great. And the worship night. Actually, I think I should dedicate a video. I need to remember all these things that I'm saying here, but I should dedicate a video speaking about what God showed me about the worship night. It's gonna be massive, cleared stage, just Jesus. I'm telling you. So yeah, if you're interested in the Purpose in Pain book, you can pre-order it. It's 250. The pre-order is 250. After that, it will go back to its original price. And if you want to buy your Back to the Garden ticket, it is 850 for the whole package, and it's 250. Is it 350 or 250? Oh, my team is gonna be mad. But yeah, there are two prices for the whole package or just for the worship night. The link will be in my bio. Thank you so much for sticking through to the end of the video. I truly appreciate the love that you guys have showed me. You love me. Yeah, and God is loving me well through you. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and to subscribe and to share this video or my channel with the people that you think might be helped by it. And follow me on other socials. Let's connect. Let's just talk. Let's have hard conversations. My name is Disetso, and I'll see you in the next vlog.